describe the mentality of a New Englander.
New England's such a different place than the rest of the country, and I've toured a little bit. I've never lived in another place, but I have a lot of friends who are scattered about the country, so I have a good sense of how people are, and New England's just really different, where we are very opinionated. But New Englanders are very opinionated, but they're not going to take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Like one story that showed me this is I traveled out to San Diego because one of my buddies was in the Navy, so he went out. Yeah. He went out to San Diego, and I had never been out to California before. So we went out there. Me and my best friend Gino went all the way out there. And of course, sports are big in our life, and it was an NFL. It was during October, so the NFL was on NFL Sunday. And my buddy worked at a bar, so we went down there 9 o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, which is awesome.
Yeah, because the kickoff in an hour would be when the East Coast games start. Right.
Kickoff is at 1 o'clock on the Eastern, which is 10 o'clock on the West Coast.
Right.
So we're sitting at the bar, and me and my buddy are like, we were talking football on the plane, and I remember it was one year where the Browns were like, the Browns were the Browns, and they hadn't won a game yet, and they were playing the Steelers. And I remember my friend Gino was terrified of flights, terrified. So to get him to calm down, I just started talking to him about sports, and I was like, dude, you're gonna be okay. Like, let's. Right. So we started talking. And I was like, dude, you should see I was writing I wasn't doing my show at the time. I was doing a column actually. And I was picking all the games, and I told him, I said, dude, I got a funny feeling Browns are going to win this. And he starts getting into me. There's no way the Browns aren't going to beat the Steelers. What are you, nuts? And I was like, no. So we made a bet. We made a friendly bet on the plane. Oh no. And so we get to the bar, and they have like 3 TVs. So we're like, we told my friend all about it. He was like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys made this bet. And we're like, all right. We're like, put the Browns game on the big screen. So me and Gino, who are both from New England, we're cheering at this Browns Steelers game that none of us, my buddy's a Jets fan and I'm a Cowboys fan. So we have no stake in this other than our friendly bet that both of us just want to win.
Of course.
And this is when a guy at the bar just looks at us and goes, dude, you're in California. Nobody cares about the Browns or the Steelers. Why are you guys cheering this much?
Right.
And that was when I noticed, like, we hear it, especially in Connecticut, where sports, we're in the middle of Boston, New York. Right. We don't have a centralized team.
Right.
We had the Whalers, and then that whole debacle happened.
Yeah.
But so we don't have that. We don't have that. So we really watch everything.
Right.
We get involved in everything. It's why you see a lot of transplants in Connecticut. You see a lot of Giants fans. You see Jets fans. You see Patriots fans, but you also see Vikings fans, Steelers fans, Cowboys fans, Packers fans. Like everybody's kind of all mixed up because we don't have a centralized team. When you go anywhere else, they're usually centralized to where they are. Like we went out to San Diego, everybody was a Chargers fan. Everybody was Chargers, Raiders, and that kind of stuff. And that was all they cared about. And they were like, why do you guys care about this? And we're like, don't worry about it. We got this. But we're the only ones cheering for every game. And I realized that's what we are. Like we cheer hard for our teams, but we also pay attention to everybody else because we don't have anybody to really get after.
Right. Yeah, that I have noticed. And I'm glad you actually said that because I was feeling that energy that you were going to bring in that aspect. Because I've been wanting to ask somebody, and I'm so glad that I now know somebody who either lives in Connecticut or Rhode Island, just in between Massachusetts and New York. Uh, you're 2 hours away from New York City. You're 2 hours away from Boston. Uh, does your area claim either city, or are you staunchly all about Connecticut?
Where I live is mostly New York, is mostly New Yorkers.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with my family. All my family's from Long Island. So
Right.
um
Because Long Island is not that
and then
far from you.
my dad went to school at UConn, and my mom went to University of Bridgeport. So
Okay.
that's why we ended up in Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much all my family's from Long Island. So we pretty much gravitate towards New York. But I went to school at Springfield College in Massachusetts.
Right.
So
We'll talk about that
everybody,
later.
when I went up there,
Mm-hmm.
everybody claimed Massachusetts.
Right.
So I'm in the middle of both, and I don't claim either of them. I could care less about either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy Boston more than New York City, as far as like where I would go, and where I like to see and sightsee.
Mm-hmm.
Boston's a more I want to say touristy city.
Right.
New York is kind of, everything is just fast. Everything is just coming out. If you're not ready for it, New York will eat you alive.